This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You're tuned into the TCSF podcast with Big Z and JC, Dynasty Fantasy Football, coming straight to you from the 606 Media Studios and powered by True Chicago Sports Fans. This is an emergency Bulls podcast, the second one in 2 days. This is crazy. Remember, 606 Media is your ultimate source for all things Chicago. Don't forget to swing by 606 Media for all the merch stuff that we have on there on all of our podcasts. So go ahead and check out what we got going on over there. Thank you for watching on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. Again, leave us some kind words and remember to subscribe and share. But let's get into what's going on with the Chicago Bulls. 2 days, three trades, really, right, in the last couple of days. But we've got a lot going on. The Bulls are sending Coby White out back to his home state, to Charlotte. And they're also sending Mike Conley, who was he didn't even touch down in Chicago. He was like waiting at home and being sent out. He was another trade chip. The Bulls are getting Colin Sexton. I'm gonna butcher this name, so please forgive me because yesterday I got some comments on butchering names. Usame Dieng. That's again, two players right there. A second round pick, which is JC just put me onto this, the least favorable of Charlotte or Denver. So there's this whichever is the lowest, essentially, is what you're going to get for 2029. In 2020 and 2031, a second round pick via the Knicks. In 2031, a second round pick via Denver. So we're getting 3 more second round picks and 2 more players that lead playing time. JC, what are you thinking?
Personally, I'm hoping that, with all these second round picks that we can package, maybe some 3 of the second round picks and send Patrick Will somewhere with his salary. We have to pay someone to take that salary. So, my whole thing with the Bulls is, you're going to have to package some picks and eat salary in order to get rid of Pat Will. And at this point, what are we going to do? Keep 3 second round picks who, they're basically 13 years old right now. By the time we draft them, we're talking about 13-year-old kids. I don't know that helps us right now. And I assume basically what the Bulls are doing is they're clearing space for free agency this coming off season. That's what they're really trying to do. They're clearing their books. They're trying to make space. I don't think we'll be able to trade for Giannis right now, but I think we could potentially sign him in the offseason during free agency. So I think that's personally what the Bulls are trying to do is get their house in order and get it ready for free agency and basically show teams the remaining talent on the team in Buzelis and Giddey and, some of this that, hey, this is what we have. And then we have the cap space potentially to sign two big contracts.
Yeah, it's nuts. We don't know because there's one more day of before the trade deadline, which is tomorrow, February 5th. So let's look at the transactions since the 1st of February. They waived Javon Carter and then made the 3-team trade with the Kings and the Cavs. We acquired Dario Saric. I can't say his last name. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. There's a bunch of lines on top of stuff. He was here for a cup of coffee as well. We got a 2027 second round pick from Denver, a 2029 second round pick from Sacramento. We gave away a 2-way player, Emmanuel Miller. And then yesterday was a 3-team trade as well with the Pistons and Wolves for Jaden Ivey, a guard from the Pistons, a young guy. I got his stats up here. Jaden Ivey, he was drafted by the Pistons in 2022. He's a 6'3" guard. Wasn't getting a lot of playing time. He's averaging 8.2 points, 2.2 rebounds, 1.6 assists, shooting 45% from the field. Again, another guard, and that team looks like what they're acquisition wise. That's look what they're getting, right? And then we got Mike Conley, who ended up trading today. Um, and we traded Kevin Herter. I was saying Hooter just because of the way pronunciation is, but lots of vowels there, and traded Dario. Then we made a trade with the Celtics for Anthony Simmons and a second round pick. Sorry, we got Anthony Simmons and a second round pick for Nikolai Vucevic. Jesus, why am I stuttering today? And then earlier today, a trade with the Hornets for Colin Sexton and Dieng, 3 future second round picks, and Coby White and Mike Conley are leaving. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6 second round picks. That's insane. That is an insane amount of picks. And there's delusional.
I will package all 6 picks if it means we can trade Patrick Williams
and just get them off the books.
Yep,
just get them off the books.
Legit. I like, hey, Sacramento, or hey, like, I will be calling the 3 bottom teams in the league and being like, hey, if you're willing to take on this guy's salary, I will give you 6 second round picks. Like, I need his salary off my books, and I am willing to pay you to do it.
I mean, I think you would have to pay to get those to pick Patrick Williams off of there, but definitely I'm trying to pull up the list of future picks of what they have and what they don't have up here. No, thank you, Sports Illustrated. There we go, Sport Track. That's where you get all your information. And man, no, that's not what it is. But again, you get 6 second round picks plus your own. That's 7, right? You're shedding a lot of salary. And we get it. We've been talking about this for weeks on our show, where we say that we need to get flexible. If you want to sign a free agent, you're going to spend some money, you got to be flexible. We had Vucevic expiring contract. He was not part of the future with these young boys. Get rid of him. Coby, when he came back, he struggled with Giddey and trying to find out what that was, and it was exactly like it was before with Levine and DeRozan, where it was your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. And that doesn't really work. And while Coby can be a killer and can be a closer, right now they're not a team that can win. They're going to stay in the 8, 9, possibly a 7 seed, get bounced in the first round, and wash, rinse, and repeat. And we've gone through that. I'm going to tell you right now, this trade went on, and on both Chicago radio stations, they were talking about Chicago Bears football and where the stadium is going to eventually be at. That's how low in the totem pole the Chicago Bulls are relevant at the moment. So we're talking about it because it's breaking news, and we need to talk about this because we want this organization to go in a positive direction. We're sick of being at the bottom of the well, and it's just. I also think that AK and Mark Eversley have a fire under their seat. They're under a hot seat because they have not done anything to get this team into playoff contention.
Yeah, no. Other than the Giddey trade last year, I mean, the AK literally sat on his hands at the trade deadline, and literally just missed every opportunity to get any. Like, we traded Lonzo for nothing. Even lost Lonzo for nothing.
Well, we got Okoro, and Okoro's been a pretty good asset. That's probably his only good move right now. Okoro being with the Bulls, a forward that can do a little bit of everything. Is he a superstar? No, but no. Lonzo got traded today for nothing. Yeah,
but my whole point is, like, when you heard through the rumor mill that we were offered a first for Lonzo, we were offered a first for Mr. Glass, that I call him.
Levine.
No, not Levine.
You're talking about why can't I think? Well, I can see his face.
White guy.
Yeah. Oh my God, why can't I think? He's on the under. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's one of those where it's like, we were offered first round picks. We didn't take it, right? Caruso, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't take the first round picks, and we should have at the time. and now it's like, I saw like a photo of where it was DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic, and I forget who else, and it basically said 0 first in return.
Yeah, you could have got
Like,
first for all of those guys.
We got nothing out of them, and that is the horrible part, is that, as a franchise, if you're going to rebuild, like, you need picks to rebuild. Now, yes, the NBA can, because they don't have a bit as big of a, bench or, roster size, etc., as like an NFL or an MLB or whatever. I really feel like it's easier to rebuild a team faster in the NBA because, basically you have to build around like 3 stars and, fill out a 4th, 5th, and 6th man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's one of those where, like I said, we've already got Giddey, we've got Buzelis. Like, if we can get Giannis in the offseason, like there's your 3. Then you have guys like, I'm sorry.
So he's got this year and this year. So if he's going to be traded somewhere, they're going to want to re-sign him. So he still has this season to finish off, and he still has one more season under contract. So you're still waiting another year, and if he gets traded, you best believe that team is going to sign him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're going to trade for Giannis, they got to go balls to the walls and offer their Portland pick. They're going to have to offer their pick in 2026. So they have 2 first rounders in 2026, and then package all those second rounders that you acquired, because they want a haul for him. He's also 31. He's going to start to break down the next 2 years, 2-3 years. So,
yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Like, I'm just happy that we didn't trade for Anthony Davis. All right.
who got traded today?
He did get traded today. I did see that, but it's one of those where I'm happy that the Bulls didn't do it, because it's one of those, like, all the rumor was that there were discussions, there was talks, there was this, there was that. And it's like, please, for the love of God, don't do this. Like, it will be a mistake. And like, so that's where I'm coming from, that I'm happy at least that we didn't make that mistake. You know what I mean? That we didn't give up the future. We didn't give up everything to get a guy who has played like 29 minutes, this entire season, just because he once used to be a name. Yeah. I don't know what it is about the Chicago teams. It's like the Cubs with Garcia Parra and, some of these other guys that they Soriano and like they bring them in at the end of their career because they're a name, but then it's like they have one good year, and then it's like you see the age, you see the fall off, and it just does us no good. So, it's one of those where, honestly, like, I don't know what AK is going to do from here, but I don't know that it's still enough for him to stick around.
No, in my opinion, he still has work to do. Whether he's got to be on the phone right now, and there's rumors that they're looking at talking to the Rockets. Maybe they can offload Patrick Williams there, and send a couple picks and get swap some picks there. They might be talking to New Orleans for Zion, another injury-plagued player. Are they trying to just offload salary and literally tear it down to the studs? If that's the case, I do not want AK Eversley involved in any of this rebuild, because we've seen what you tried to do. It blew up in your face once Lonzo went down, and then you did nothing to supplement. If that was the window that opened up, and then the window falls down on your hands, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to leave my hands there, and at some point my fingers are going to fall off, and then I'll move my hand. No, you've got to be an aggressive GM. And you had multiple opportunities, like you said, to get first-round picks for some of these players who could have been here already on the team at this point, or even maybe next year, or At this point,
but
you're
wait,
first round picks.
we think we have a chance being the 8th seed to make it to the playoffs and go anywhere.
Yeah.
Be realistic. When you're the 8th seed, yeah, okay, maybe you win one series, but you're not winning a championship. Like, you need to be realistic and realize, like, okay, we should have never held on to Caruso for an extra year. We should have never held on to Lonzo. We should, you know what I mean? Like, when you're offered something and you know that, like, you have damaged goods because you see it on a daily basis, take the picks. Like, this is what I understand is, you know, we talked about it, I don't know how many times. Like, you see Patrick Williams in the building. You know what he is, and you still signed him.
Yeah. And you didn't have to bid against anybody because he was a restricted free agent. You literally shot yourself in the foot. All you had to do was wait, and he would have got no contract offers, and you'd be like, I'll give you $5 million. And we're gonna do it for 3 years. And
or how about this? He does get contract offers, and you go, all right, we'll match or we'll sign and trade.
Yes. You sign and trade, and you get him off your books, and you get a couple second round picks for him, right?
Because again, you have this guy in the building. You see that he is not progressing. You see that he is playing soft. You see all of this on a daily basis. Like, this is what I don't understand is what talent evaluators literally looked at Pat Will and go, yeah, he's everything we thought he was when we drafted him. Go ahead and pay him. Like, there was nobody in that building that said, hey, guys, you know what? We thought he was going to be a guy. He had a prototypical size. We thought, you know, he would be better than he is. But you know what? We're in year 3. He has not progressed to the point that we feel comfortable offering him a contract. There was nobody in the building, not one person.
Not one person objected.
Or is it you have a bunch of yes men underneath AK that they're so afraid to go to AK and be like, dude, this guy is not panning out, and AK's final word is gospel. Like, to me, it's one or the other. Either you have a bunch of idiots that can't do talent evaluation, or they're a bunch of yes men who are too scared to speak up. It's one of the two. And either way, they all should be fired. Because that is not going to help your organization.
It's really not. It's been hindering the organization, and this is why everyone's trashing Jerry. But it's not Jerry running the organization.
No, as an owner, look, as an owner, you can trash Jerry for not firing AK, for not firing, you know, the president of basketball operations, or, you know, whoever that guy is that we always talk about that you never see.
Yeah, it's Michael Reinsdorf that's running the organization. Jerry's hands off when it comes to the Bulls. He's all worried about his White Sox. Again, that's usually the Chicago cop-out. Try to blame the owner. Okay, great. You can still blame the owner, but who's in the position there at the moment? AK and Mark Eversley, who you've never seen. Do you know what Mark Eversley looked like?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that I've, you know, where we keep seeing like the Bears, you know, talking about the stadium and all this and yada, 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 where you keep seeing Warren's face and you keep seeing Pole's face and you know, you don't really see the McCaskey face, you know, like George McCaskey all that much, you know, but like you do hear about Kevin Warren, all this stuff. I never hear about the Bulls. Like you never hear about AK, you never hear about Eversley. So it's one of those where it's like, what do we like? Are they Scooby-Doo characters where, like, you know, you pull off the mask and find out they're not really the person you thought they were?
Yeah, it's got to be that. It's definitely got to be that. Every organization outside of the Bulls, their GM or president of operations is very visible. You know, the White Sox, you have Chris Getz. He's going on podcasts. He's talking about this rebuild. You have that, right? That's your GM. He's the face of the organization at the moment. Okay, with the Blackhawks, you will see the GM out there. I know what he looks like. I can't remember his name. I know it's not Stan Bowman anymore, right? I don't think it's Stan Bowman anymore, is it? No, it's okay. I forgot the new guy, but still, I know what his face looks like. I've seen him on press conferences here and there. The Bulls is like, hey, look over here. We have Benny the Bull. Don't look over here. Don't look behind this curtain. You know, that's what it looks like, and it feels like. And right now, the Bulls roster is super guard heavy, so expect a couple more trades. Right now, you have, let's see, Bulls.
Yeah, and I think it's the young kid from the Pistons, Ivy.
Yeah.
Is it him? I think it was him.
Sexton is a ball dominant player, and he can play off Giddey because Giddey likes to distribute, and so does Ivy.
But Ivy, I believe, is coming off an injury.
Right.
So he's kind of been like slow going from everything I've been reading. Is like he's still coming back from the injury and has not been playing great this year. After return.
And then you also have what we got back in Colin Sexton and Dieng. They're both expiring contracts. So if they don't work out, see you later. See you later. And you'll have more spots, available. Or they can probably be flipped again. They can probably be flipped again tomorrow. We have no idea what's going on or what direction they're going into, because right now we have we have Jalen Smith and then no one no one underneath that to supplement him. I'm pulling up the Bulls roster right now. But yeah, you look at what you have. Ayo's going to be the guy that doesn't start, comes off this as a sixth man, but he will be closing games. He will be the guard out there with Giddey closing games because his defense is really good. So Bulls roster. So while like I said, I want to keep Ayo. You've seen him flourish with the Bulls being shorthanded. There's no Coby because he's injured or taking a day off for rest, and there was no Giddey. Ayo showed up with him, almost scored 30 points. He can do that, and he's not shy about going to the hole and taking a foul. And that's where I think where they're kind of restructuring what the team is looking like, where you can have a Giddey drive down, distribute to shoot a three, or you can have Ayo that drives down. Trey Jones is another guy who's not scared to drive to the hole. Uzelis is really good on pick and roll and likes to dunk on people. But, there's a lot of that. But after that, I mean, you got a Kuro who's also good, another shooting guard, Trey Jones. I'm telling you, we are stacked with point guards and shooting guards and nowhere to put them.
Yeah, like right now, I guess Zach Collins is going to be the guy right now.
Zach Collins is hurt. He's got a foot injury. It's supposed to get reevaluated.
But like now that Booch is gone, it's one of those where it's like, I guess like when Zach is healthy,
it's Jalen.
He's going to be the guy playing.
No, it's Jalen Smith. It's his job. That's a young buck that we got there. It'll be him. And I mean, again, I don't think Zach Collins is going to come back this season, honestly, because they don't know what's wrong with his foot. After 2 weeks, they're just going to reevaluate it. And then he's got to go through, he's doing his rehab. And then when he's going to be in basketball activities or warm-ups, when is he going to do that for the next 2 weeks? There's 31 games left. And what if he just says, you know what, I'm going to opt out for surgery? Then you're out of it, right? You don't have him anymore. So you don't really have any big guys. Your guy that was in the G League, Noah Nsage. I'm really bad with names. I'm good at butchering names.
I'm literally looking like free agency this coming off season. And it's like LeBron James, Zach LaVine, Trae Young, James Harden, CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Kristaps Porzingis, Isaiah Hartenstein, Andrew Wiggins.
Nope.
And it's like really like you look at these guys
everyone's 30 and above.
Except for like Trae Young, but we don't need Trae Young.
We don't need him. Yeah.
So it's one of those where it's like, okay, like you look at Porzingis is 30 and a half. Hartenstein, Isaiah Hartenstein, center, 27.7 years old.
But he's going to cost you $30 million plus a year.
But like I said, everybody else, 33 or so. Anthony Simons, the guy that we just traded for and picked up, he's 26.6, but he's an unrestricted free agent.
Yep.
So it's one of those where like, okay, so his money's coming off the books he'll be
Or
an
be traded.
unrestricted free agent.
Or
So it's
traded.
like, really, like, who are you looking at signing to make this team better? I mean,
So-
Kuminga is like the only guy,
Yeah.
but I think he has a club deal.
Where's Kuminga at? I just saw him. He's 23. Yeah, he's a power forward. He has a club option, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's there's not much out there. I mean, Vucevic will be available. He'll be 36. You know what? It's one of those things. You know, Zach Collins is another one. He's going to come off the books. He's 28. He'll be 29 next year. If you got foot injuries, especially for a big man, that's an issue. You don't want to deal with that.
I mean, it looks like a bunch of the guys we traded for are going to be unrestricted free agents. Anthony Simmons, Colin Sexton, Zach Collins, who else? Jaden Ivey is a restricted free agent, but again, like, okay, that's and Io is an unrestricted free agent. So basically, like 5 of the 10 guys that we've been talking about are going to be unrestricted, and 1 is restricted. And Ivy is the only restricted. So it's like, okay, so what kind of team are you putting together next year, or who are you signing and overpaying that they're not going to be superstars? They're going to be, you know, guys that fill a roster, and that's it.
And I think you really have to look at within, you know, after, you know, in 24 hours, we'll find out what the actual direction is. Because if those guys are expiring contracts, let's go flip them for more draft picks. And I don't care if we have to play with the Windy City Bulls roster, because at the end of the day, if we tank, right, if we continue to go down, okay, that's a better draft pick for this year, and we have 2 first rounders. So
you start Giddey, you start Noah Assange, which I know Noah was, you know, injured, whatever. He's getting no playing time. But like, put the rookies out there, let them play, let them get time. You know, if you're sitting there telling me that the Bulls coach like can't deal with egos and can't deal with veterans, then put the rookies out there who are going to listen to the coach.
And that's might be what they're doing, is they're going to stick with Billy and have a very young core and have them grow together, and then add some veteran pieces. I think you need to get physical in the power forward and the center positions. They got to be very physical dudes, be able to handle your you know, your Jokic and you know, handle Karl Anthony Towns and, you know, your KDs, be able to get physical with those big guys, because we seen what we had. Vooch, well, he was a great scorer, great passer, great rebounder. At times, he definitely shunned away from rebounding when it was those big guys, those big centers that can dominate the paint. He was nowhere to be seen. He was having maybe 4 rebounds a game on those games. So we need somebody that's going to be a dog trying to get those rebounds. And if that's your only job, great. You know, be there to take down the block, because I do not like the way the Bulls team was constructed, where they would just shoot and not worry about rebounds. And it's bad because they were, I mean, I get it. They're young. They're running and gunning. Well, Vucevic is not young to be running and gunning back and forth like that. That is not his game.
No. And like I said, if you think Vucevic wasn't like run and gun, Anthony Davis would have been worse.
Oh, God.
So, again, you know, I really think that it's going to be, and I don't know, at this point, do we get rid of Io as well? I personally
no, because he's the only kid that plays defense. Trey Jones plays defense, but I don't know when he's coming back. But definitely no. In my opinion, you keep Io and you sign Io, and he comes off the bench, but he plays the majority of the minutes. He comes in for the second unit and runs the offense for the second unit. In my opinion, he's too valuable to let go. Unless you get, you know, if you can get a first rounder for him, hey, let's go. Or they're going to give you 4 second rounders. Okay, cool. Let's use that as currency to flip another player or to get more assets. I don't know. In my opinion, let's keep Io. Let's keep some continuity. Somebody that can close the game as a defensive guard. I really like his length in his game. I really do. He's literally grown on me. I know he's a local Illini alum. So let's see. How'd you say his name? Insage?
Assange or
Sanjay?
something, I think it is.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to say it. He had a dislocated left shoulder requiring surgery, so he's out for the whole season. Expected to miss 5 or 6 months. So he should be.
So there goes that idea of starting the rookies, and which I knew Assange was hurt at one point, but I didn't know the severity. And again, when you got a guy who's getting maybe 5 minutes a night, you're not going to really hear about how severe an injury is because there were other guys ahead of him anyway.
I'm not familiar with Dieng, who's the center who played for the Thunder. I don't know what his game is, but he was averaging 3.7 points, 1.6 rebounds, 1 assist. He wasn't getting a lot of playing time. He is 6'9", playing center. He's still too small to play center, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He was a 2020.
The guys that are interesting to me were definitely Anthony Simons and the Ivy kid. Just because Ivy is, I think he's 23.
Yeah,
he's pretty young.
Yeah, so is Dang. He's 22. So yeah, they are going for younger talent. And again, there's a lot to digest here. I mean, in the short term, looks like the rebuild has come into play. Rather than push for these playoff runs where we just get eliminated and we have consistency of disappointment. We lose a closer, in my opinion, because I think Coby White can be a closer. But it also takes away from the team, right? We saw that with Zach LaVine, where you would just have ISO, I'm closing the game. And I get that, but you guys are not the best ISO closers, right? So there's a lot of uncertainty, and we won't find out for another 24 hours. So where do we go from here, JC?
I'll tell you where we're not going. We're not going with Israel's comment about bringing in LeBron James. No, thank you. LeBron is another Anthony Davis. Listen, if anyone is watching the NBA, you're watching LeBron stat pad and stand in a corner, and like there was just like a video where the coach of the Lakers was calling LeBron, and LeBron sitting there chatting with a bench of the other team. And meanwhile, his coach is yelling at him, trying to get his attention. And it's like, no, I do not want that on my team. I do not care. LeBron James will never be Michael Jordan. He can stat pad his stats all he wants. Dude, you didn't have it. You had all the talent in the world, but you didn't have what Kobe and Jordan had in that killer mentality. When the game was on the line, you were passing to Ray Allen, you were passing to Dwayne Wade, you were doing anything to get away from being the guy in the spotlight.
No,
where Michael Jordan said, hey, give it to me. And don't get me wrong, I understand Michael Jordan did pass to Steve Kerr. I'm not debating that, right? I know Jordan gave up a couple passes to win the game. But how many games did we watch Michael Jordan get the ball at the buzzer and knock down the shot?
Yeah. I got added to it at work with somebody because they're like, well, LeBron has hit the most game-winning shots. I'm like, he's played double the amount of games or years as Jordan did. That's why. Just because you were in their league longer and you padded your stats doesn't mean you did it better. All right? So get off that GOAT mentality. You are not a GOAT. Definitely not a GOAT.
And it's not even that to me, right? It's also the fact that, when Jordan made it to those games, he finished those games. How many games did LeBron go to that he didn't finish?
The finals?
Yeah. I remember the finals where was it against the Mavs that they literally got wiped out.
He didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. He was locked down by JJ Barrera and I forgot the other point guard. Yeah, he had 0 points by 2 backup point guards. But it
was one of those where And LeBron's known for this, like walking off the court before the game's over.
Yeah. He's a crybaby. Let him cry over there. He's gonna end up in Cleveland for his final year, and he's gonna be over there with James Harden and the Spider. They're gonna make another super team over there so he can chase for
one more.
Yep. So,
but again, like if you legit watch like LeBron James now, I really think like he should just retire. Like I know he'll try and play one more for Cleveland, and be the I'm the homeboy that came home for one more year. I won you how many championships, Cleveland? I'm going to try it for one more. I understand that, but at the end of the day, like, dude, watching you play, like, it's like a racehorse. You know what I mean? That like, it should probably be put out to pasture and start having like siring other racehorses. But it's one of those where like LeBron, like he keeps wanting to play, but it's not there anymore. You can see it. Like all he can play is offense. He won't play defense at all because his legs are not there to play the game anymore.
Yeah. Well, and this is why we don't like talking about LeBron, because we just know he's just not that good.
Yeah.
Looking at projected guard rotation, you're looking at Giddey at point guard, Sexton at small guard. You got your starting lineup: Patrick Williams, maybe starting because of default at small forward, or will it be probably Buzelis? We started at small forward.
Well, let's hope maybe there's a market for Simmons or Sexton, and like I said, maybe
yeah, because at center we Jalen Smith, but again, power forward, it's not Patrick Williams. He can't play the power forward. And then small forward, you got to put Buzelis there, and then I would say Ivy and Dusumu coming off the bench, and with Dieng, again, they've got a lot. Yeah, I don't know what you're smoking, Israel, but it must be some good stuff because you're very delusional today. Yeah, we
know Israel likes to mess with us, and
I know. We definitely love to have him on. Yeah, I mean, it's up in the air at the moment, right? Definitely we'll be taking a step back. No more playing. Hopefully we continue to tank so we can get a higher percentage of the number 1 pick or even top 5. If we do have the top
we have ours and Sacramento, right? But Sacramento,
I think it's Portland's.
Or Portland. I'm sorry.
Yeah, either one of I think it's Portland's, but it's top. I think it's top 14 protected, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it is top 14. No, yep, it is via Portland to protected 1 through 14. So hopefully our pick is the one that gets picked in the top 10, top 15, and then we have another one there. But again, we're blowing up again. Another team going through a rebuild. I mean, because they were stagnant for years and years and years, and now we're going through another rebuild. And I don't trust the administration to go through with this. So I really prefer that at the end of the year.
And at this point, like I don't really know of any superstars. Like last year was Cooper Flagg. This year, like I really don't know of anybody,
I don't really pay attention to that till
the quote unquote superstar. So to me, even if we go and like say we get the number 8 or 9 pick, even if we trade out, I'm fine with that. Because it's one of those where like, how do we accumulate more picks? Hey, somebody wants to move up to 7 to 9 and you want to give me 2 or 3 future first round picks. Cool. Like this is what the Bulls need to do at this point is, start stashing away stuff and, like I said, move back and pick up more picks. They need to do something.
I mean, would it be weird? And let's say serendipity, I'm putting it out there in the universe, that if the Bulls were to, if let's say they don't, they're not in the top 15 for their draft pick, or maybe, I don't know, maybe not top 5. Okay, let's go, they're not in the top 5. And Andrej Stojakovic, son of, is it Peja Stojakovic? Why am I stuttering to it? Stojakovic, he's a 6'7" guard. He's a junior, so he's probably going to come out He plays for Illinois, and he's been pretty good. Maybe he falls to the Bulls, and you have another Illini to play with Io and Giddy and a bunch of young guys. I mean, I don't know who else out there right now because I'm not watching college basketball. I don't watch it until I want to say in about 2 weeks, right after the Super Bowl is when I start watching college basketball because then they'll have like the Big Ten tournament and so forth, and then then we have
and then it's ramp up to March Madness. Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, and you also have Boozer's kids, right? Yeah, Boozer does have kids at Duke. Again, that's when I'll start paying attention to that. And Illinois is playing Northwestern tonight, and I'm going to jump on that as soon as we jump off here. But yeah, as soon as just like JC, when the football season ends, it's like, all right, let's start looking at who's going to be drafted. And I do.
I've already done a couple mock drafts already.
Oh, of course. You and Ivan are going to nerd out, and I love it. And that's why you guys are on the podcast because you're smart at what you do. And it's going to be fun once we start doing it. And again, Bears season never stops. Every day there's something to talk about with the Bears. And we'll continue to do that on Mondays. Yes, Illinois is number 5. So, again, it's a possibility. I don't know who the top 25 athletes are right now. But again, doing March Madness, someone rises to the top and becomes, their stock shoots up. So we still have to see who's that going to be that person. Make sure they're not a sixth man on the bench and another project. You got to get sure guys that are going to contribute right at day one. I don't want to see guys that are being drafted sent to the G League. No, let's go. You got drafted. Let's go, kid. You're coming off the bench. Yeah, your minutes may be a little bit, but I want you going out there and giving it your all. So we'll see. There's a lot to talk about.
You watch teams like OKC and some of these teams that did the rebuild the right way and have a young core that works and plays together. That's what the Bulls need. And the bottom line is, I understand Giddy is not the youngest, but at the same time, like to me, it's one of those where, like I said, I know Io was getting a ton of interest. I know we traded Coby, but the rumor on X and Twitter was that Io was getting a lot of interest. So, whether or not he's gone as well, I don't know. I don't know what this team is going to look like by the end of the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So again, this is the first time we've seen his administration and AKA Mark Eversley to actually be active at the trade deadline. So are they trying to save their job? And either way, in mine and JC's opinion, they shouldn't have their job at the end of the season. Give them Milwaukee papers. And again, I'm not a fan of Billy. I would say we need a hard-nosed coach. We all love Tom Thibodeau, but apparently because didn't they and forgive me, like I know that the Bulls don't really discuss it, but I thought I read somewhere that we just re-sign. Oh, we extended Billy. Yeah. I mean, let me see if it's out there. Let's see. Billy.
Because I mean that's a whole nother thing is like we've made it to the 8th seed how many years in a row? Like didn't we just watch like Jim Harbaugh, who was the coach of the Ravens, make it to the playoffs how many years in a row, just get fired because he couldn't get over the hump? Like you're telling me Billy Donovan is like this amazing coach? Like I'm sorry.
The coach in the Bills got fired.
Yeah.
It happens. Mike Tomlin was. I'm gonna take some time off. Come on, bro. We know you got fired. End of the day, Billy Donovan signed a multi-year contract extension with the Chicago Bulls in July of 2025. So if you got an extension, it's most likely like 3 to 4 years.
But at the same time, to me, like coaches' payroll, especially like I don't know what they're paying Donovan, but it can't be that much to make me be like, you know what? No, I can afford to pay you $6 million to go home. Like,
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it was. In November 2022, his salary was reported around $6 million. So, yeah,
but
I don't.
I said, I'm willing to pay him that to go home, and I can find somebody to replace him.
If you're going to start over, and this is the time to do it, you have a very young talent. All right, guys, next year new coach, new system, new offense, new defense, and get the best people out there. Get the best coach that's available, that has a proven winning record, able to develop players and get
Again, fire
staff
AK
coaches.
and give me somebody from OKC's front office.
Golden
Give me-
State, Golden State, the Thunder. Go look at Boston, right? They
I was gonna say the Celtics.
yeah, proven winners in the NBA who've built from nothing. Get people from those organizations to make your organization better. And stop getting yes men. Stop having these former players just collect a paycheck. I mean, that would be nice for us if we, I can go collect a paycheck and just give you bad advice. Garpax. I mean, Garpax has started out well and then it just ended really bad. So, especially with Thibodeau's, they, Guard couldn't handle Thibodeau. Thibodeau's very strong-minded. All he does is basketball. He lives, breathes, and shits basketball. So definitely a guy like that who's very strong-willed. They didn't like what he was saying, and they didn't like that he was putting a lot of input in what they wanted to do. I don't. It's time to move on. We can't continue to live in the past, right? That's what all the Cub fans used to tell me, like, oh, 2005 was in the past. Oh, well, now you're in the same seat that we are. It's 11 years for you guys too. So in that in that note, I really think that tomorrow's gonna be interesting. And if something breaks, we'll be on again and we'll break it all down for you. But this has been good. I'm enjoying doing multiple podcasts. It might take most of my week, but this multiple podcasting is kind of fun. And
short little, Although this is going on almost an hour already.
Yeah, I know. We could talk. That's stupid, yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those where, like I said, as news breaks, especially tomorrow, because I'm sure the Bulls are not done, or because we could definitely use a big and a power forward.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll see where this goes. We got Sexton and Simmons, which if their contracts really are expiring, then I would move them. If there's a team out there that can use them, I would move them.
Right.
And like I said, I mean, I think like I was reading that Simmons had a game not that long ago where he scored like 29 or 39 points, I think it was. So, and I believe Simmons was averaging a decent, I think it was like 24 points or something like that.
With Simons?
Yeah, Simons.
Yeah.
I think I keep saying Simmons.
Yeah, I said Simmons yesterday too, and I got crucified on the internet. Sorry for reading it wrong. It's my fault. Where is he at? Anthony Simons. Boom, boom, boom. He's averaging 14.2. So yeah, he's definitely been playing.
I said 24, so it's 14.
Yeah,
but again, I thought I read something where like he had a decent game not that long ago.
I'm pretty sure you did because they're missing their main point guard over there with the Celtics, so he's definitely getting more playing time and able to do that. Let me pull up his stats. So I got his games here. Let's see, minutes, points. He had a 27-point game against the Bucks. Yeah, that's about it. It was 9, 10, 21, 12, 12, 16, 27. So his last game as a Celtic was against the Bucks, and he scored 27. Now the Bucks are also a team that's very hurt. Giannis is not playing, so there's a lot of that. So it doesn't matter. You scored. We need to grab as many draft picks as we can get. The Bulls need to build a young, strong team. Yes, that's exactly what we said, Israel. Thanks for listening. Love that. What is that to say?
Yeah, like I said, trade everybody. Like I said, I said a couple of weeks ago or a month ago now that the only two guys that were off limits to me were Giddey and Buzelis. That's it.
Yep.
To me, everybody else on the roster can be traded. I do not care about Io. I did not care about Coby because it's one of those like, I know you're a fan of Io. Me personally, like. It's one of those where it's like too little, too late. Like the development, like it took a little too long for me. Although like Io has been playing very well this year, but it's one of those where it's not enough for me to sit there and be like, yeah, you're a guy like I'm going to sign like Pat Will. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those where it's like no, like learn the mistake from Pat Will. You know, cut your losses, get what you can. And like I said, it might take us a year, 2 years, 3 years even to put a team back together. But I would rather go through the growing pain and come out with a team like OKC rather than continue to be an ace seed year after year after year.
Yeah, it looks like, just like the Kennedy, every single team has been under construction. The Bears were, definitely under construction. Blackhawks are under construction. The Cubs, I think there was more of a retool than a rebuild. And the White Sox are rebuilding by going young. Yeah. And you developed your players through the draft, and then you can sign because you have enough cap space. So definitely it's going to be a wild 24 hours, and I'm excited to talk Bulls. Hopefully tomorrow something does pan out because there's moves to be made. We'll see who gets shipped out and who's going to stay and what this team's future looks like. So that way we know what the roadmap looks like. It's going to be fine. Sure. Have you not been watching? Yeah. You know what? Chicago fans have been patient enough. This is a really big boy market. We need to start winning championships. It doesn't matter what team wins it. We need one team in the contention for championships on a yearly basis. I'm sick of being losers. So. All right, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. Everybody, thank you, everybody who's going to be listening on the pod. I'm going to flip this into the audio version in a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, can't wait to see the comments of like, you guys don't know how to say their names. Sorry. Like, it's. I understand. Like, there's fans of NBA and whatever. Listen, I'm an NFL guy. Like, I can say Deo Obeningo. You can't. Yeah. So it's one of those where it's like, I'm an NFL guy. I know NFL. Like, yeah, there's guys in the NBA. Look, I know the big name guys who, like, the big name guys are, like I said, James Harden. I was watching something today where it's like that guy's going to be on what, his 6th, 7th, 8th team by now.
Yeah,
it's one of those where it's like the guys that I grew up watching are a thing of the past, and it is what it is. So
it's not about loyalty; it's about making money and clout. It's not about I brought this team again to a championship. So there's no
welcome to the new NIL.
Yeah, the NIL's that's gonna ruin sports.
Yeah.
All right. Well, check us out on social media. You can check us out at TCSF Pod on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, IG, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Go over there, whatever your favorite avenue is for consuming us. Go ahead and subscribe, share that. That's the only way we can grow. And if you want to interact with us on Facebook, on IG, definitely do that. We are welcoming, and we like going back and forth, especially JC. JC loves going back and forth.
Yeah. You want to talk shit? I'm your guy.
There you go.
I can do it all day long. I'm on vacation. Hit me up.
Yeah. Please hit up JC, especially if you want to talk football and you want to beat the pants. Okay, Israel. All right, for JC, I am Big Z. We'll see you on the next episode. It may be tomorrow. It may be on Monday. So we'll see what happens. Right? It'll probably we're on episode 288 if it happens tomorrow or Monday. So we'll see you then. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.